I think this team's a little bit different just in terms of this really is about the development and growth of the quarterback, the offense. And so the thing for this one more than anything else is just the continued growth and defensively just, playing better and keep working towards it. I mean, it's to me, it's all in front of us. I really do believe that. And, this, like I said, this to me is it's different just because of where we are as a football team.
And then with Sam, you talk about the growth the last 2 weeks, 4 combined sacks. I'll probably answer the question, but how much do you parcel it out to scheme, to Sam developing, to the line changes, and how do you?
I think it's a combination of several things, and also the guys around Sam getting it. It's like I've talked about this earlier too, about those aha moments where all of a sudden it goes, okay, I see it, I get it. Well, some of the things that we did up front with the offensive line seem to be paying off. I think getting the ball out of Sam's hands quicker, creates that the ball's out, frustration for the defense when a guy gets the ball out early and on timing. There's a little bit of frustration that seems to develop, and then overall the guys' understanding. I mean, you see some of the things that we've been seeing from the backs and from the tight ends that are chipping their way out. We even got a couple snaps where we have the receivers chipping and all understanding just how important it is, and it's all kind of coming together, I think, at the right time for us offensively.
Ron, just for Cam Curl, just kind of feels like we don't maybe talk about him as much with so many other things going on. What have you kind of seen from him this year? Where have you seen his game take another step?
Well, I'll tell you, he's been very solid for us, doing a lot of the good things that we ask of him, and then doing more. I mean, he's a terrific football player, a guy that is a veteran leader now, and you see his play. It's very savvy, and it's very timely. You see him come up with solid plays at the right time in terms of, third down and making a big tackle or knocking the ball away, something like that. He's been solid for us.
And for the secondary as a whole, this game against Seattle with DK Metcalf, he's physically similar to A.J. Brown. He obviously faced a couple times. Is that going to be a good experience, having gone up against A.J. to now deal with DK?
I think so. I think it'll be something that we can draw from, most certainly. I do think it's a heck of a challenge for our guys in the secondary. And, I really do believe, based on some of the things that we've done in the last few weeks, I think it'll be a good challenge for us.
Ron, you said, it's all in front of you. You believe that. At the beginning of the year in training camp, you kind of said, look, this is an audition for everybody because we have a new boss and we got to get a feel for that. Mm-hmm. How do you feel the audition is going, and what's the best case that you can say to your new owner, we have this going in the right direction?
Well, I just think as you look at what we're doing and we continue to be competitive, that's probably the biggest thing right now. We've had a lot of change, a lot of things that we're doing differently and just trying to put it together. I mean, for me, the biggest thing is just continue to play hard and continue to do the best we can and hopefully win some football games more so than anything else. I mean, the truth is this is about winning. That's the biggest thing that comes from the audition more than anything else.
And the change you mean is the quarterback and the offense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Ron, I don't know if you saw Chase Young's comments on Monday during his opening press conference about San Francisco, and it's a building full of winners, the culture, the spirit of the players. During your time here in Washington, what are you most proud of kind of the culture that you've helped build inside that locker room?
I think first and foremost is that, to me, as far as I'm concerned, I'm excited about our football team. I like the things that we're doing. I like the direction we're headed. I think culturally it's a really solid place. We're still learning and growing. We have a young quarterback that's learning and growing for us. And I do think that for the most part, things can be very bright for us if it continues to go in the right direction. And as far as, Chase is concerned in his comments, I really appreciate who he is for us and who he was for us. Did some nice things and just wish him all the luck in San Francisco.
Coach, Tressaway spoke to us a bit in the locker room, and I see you smiling. He won NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, so this is the second honor for the special teams this season. What can you say about that group and what you see them building as a unit?
It's been happening over the last couple of years. Last year Jeremy, becomes the Pro Bowl player and then gets voted All-Pro Special Teams Player, and to me, that's one of the areas that it's very positive as far as growth is concerned. I got the right kind of guys out there doing it. I think Nate Castor's done a terrific job. I think him and Ben make a terrific team of position coaches for us as far as special teams are concerned. And Tress is just the ultimate pro. He really is. He's one of the captains, and and doing a great job of leading that group of guys. What it does say about Tress winning the award, one of the things that was really cool about it was we had 5 punts that were down inside the 20, or that ended up inside the 20, and a lot of it had to do with not just him kicking the ball, but the guys that are covering. Everything from what goes on with Cheeseman at the long snapping position, and Burgess coming in and replacing Jeremy, and being able to help hold down the fort, and then our gunners, the way those guys are playing, and breaking free and getting down. I mean, that whole unit has done a nice, solid job for us as far as special teams is concerned. There are a couple other bright spots too as far as special teams is concerned. We had 3 punt returns over 10 yards. Anytime you can do that, that means that's 10 yards less that the offense has to gain before they're in scoring position. We opened up with I think it was a 37-yard kickoff return by Antonio. Again, that's one less first down you have to get if we had downed it and taken it at the 25. So there's been a lot of positive growth, and you see that. And when you start seeing a lot of your young picks, your young draft picks playing well on special teams, that's usually a good indicator that given the opportunity to play regularly at a position, bodes well. So there's a lot of positives to take from that.
And actually, to follow up on what you just mentioned, Chris Rodriguez had a big tackle for you all on Sunday. Can you say a bit more about his growth and how you think he's doing so far?
Chris has done a solid job. He really has. And whenever he's gotten an opportunity to come in and run, he has run the ball pretty well for us. And, it's just as you watch it with what's going on with Antonio and B-Rob, I think both those guys are finding their stride now within this offense. Last week was a good week for both those backs. And so it just hasn't really given Chris the opportunity to play running back as much as I think he would like to, and we would like to see a little bit more from him if he gets the opportunity. But watching him on special teams and how he's growing, that's been really good. It's been a cool thing to see that he's taking every opportunity he can and that's to give his best. So that's been really good as well.
Hey, Coach, Seattle is a noisy place, a loud stadium to play in. What are some of the things that offensively you all could do to help Sam and the receivers can do to help that situation, knowing that the crowd noise is going to be really bad?
Well, the biggest thing was a lot of that stuff will be based off of hand signals and stuff like that as well. It's understanding what the play call is, and then what the alerts or the checks are. And again, that will all have to be dictated by what's going on with the hand signals. We've played at some pretty noisy places this year for the most part. We've worked a lot, with the no huddles and just using all the hand signals and stuff like that. So that's probably the biggest thing is everybody's got to be able to pay attention. Everybody's got to be able to see what they see and be on the same page more so than anything else. And the better you are at that, the less likely there will be a mistake or a miss signal or a call or something. And again, as far as our offensive line is concerned, they've just got to be patient and hopefully, we won't have any illegal procedures.
EB's obviously known as a running game background, all that. You were a part of very physical teams. You guys now run one of the most pass-heavy offenses in football. I'm just curious for you and him in those discussions, how have you come around on that's the way to win with this race?
Well, I started my coaching career, my positional coaching career under Andy Reid. And so just understanding what that mentality is and what Coach Reid's mentality was, and I know it's rubbed off a lot on EB, to be quite honest. I see the extended handoff attitude. I also see that, we do some things in terms of just trying to catch the defense anticipating something, and that was always something that was big for Coach as well. And I know that EB has carried that over as well. And having been part of that success that Andy had early on, I can see it. And I see a lot of positives, a lot of parallels right now. I really do. And the thing that's very exciting for us both has been the growth and development of the quarterback. I mean, Sam has been terrific. I think the players around him are getting it as well and understanding these things. I think we've all had some aha moments just saying, okay, I get it. I understand that part of it. So as we continue to grow and do those things, I think the best thing is we can just continue to develop. I'm pretty excited about who this team can become.
Curious, it's been a few weeks since you've kind of done the scaled back Wednesdays with no pads and the helmets and the Veterans days off. Is there any way to tell how that's affected on game days, or if that's, I don't say working, but can you see an effect of it?
I think we do because in the last couple of weeks is really the what you've seen, and I thought again the game against Philadelphia we saw some some guys playing with some really good GPS numbers. And then this past week, looking at those numbers, they're all positives. Those are good things. And really now it's about giving them a chance to have an extra day to get their bodies back. Today, the high emphasis more than anything else on Wednesdays is the mental aspect and really just making sure you're aware of what we're trying to do. Like for the offensive lineman, it's understanding what we're going to see versus this defensive front. For the receivers is what kind of coverages are we going to get, and how are we going to be able to beat those coverages, and really just trying to see it as the proposed game plans are given to all three phases. And it's really the mental aspect, the X's and O's. Tomorrow we'll ramp it up with the tempo, and then Friday we'll try to ramp it up even more so that by the time we get to Sunday we're on an upswing, more so than those first few weeks or the first 7-8 weeks, as far as just the work and getting those things down. Now that you're at the halfway point, the attitude is, and again, like I said, a lot of this comes from when I was with Andy Reid, is about getting them back physically and then preparing them so that things are ramping up towards the end of the week.
In Seattle particularly, it seems like Geno plays really well even when he's under pressure. Why is that, and how do you go about affecting him if that's the case?
Well, I think a lot of times for guys like that, it's more about reacting to what's seeing and what's happening. I think sometimes for some guys, the tendency could be to overthink. Cam Newton was a tremendous guy that I watched in terms of just reacting to what was happening, and just making quick decisions sometimes help guys. I mean, it's like watching Sam run our 2-minute drill. He's been very effective doing that for us because it's more about reacting to what you're seeing, and it's just you don't have to overthink things. You can get to the line of scrimmage, make your calls, and then once you get the ball, now you're just reacting to what you're saying.
And kind of to that point, the pass rush wasn't super productive last week, but I know it was tough because the Patriots were getting the ball out quickly. Like, where are you at with the pass rush, and do you think just sticking with the same rotation?
Well, we are for the most part, but there's some things that you can do to help the pass rush, and again, we'll work on those things, and hopefully it'll show on Sunday.
Jahan Dotson, as he was going through some of the drops, what did you see from him to show that he was really working through that, and what have you seen from him over these last 2 games as he's really bounced back?
First thing, Nicky, was really the frustration on his face because he knows he's better than that, and so you could tell, but then you could see him working extra pre-practice, post-practice, and just talking and spending time with Bobby Ingram and just listening to them go through things and just him understanding that it's just a little more work here, a little more work there, and it's sometimes it happens. I mean, sometimes guys go into slumps, but the biggest way to get out really is just to work through it, and that's what he's done. And I think right now he's to the point now where he's very comfortable in what we're doing, how we're doing it. I think he and Sam have developed a pretty good rapport as well.
Mm-hmm. And I know in New England there was a brief headset issue, and Jacoby helped with getting some signals in. Is he a help in games like this where the noise is that bad?
Yes, he will be. He most certainly will be. And Jacoby's he's tremendous. He really is. And I understand why he's one of those guys that a lot of people are trying to find. But he's done a tremendous job for us. He's been great for Sam, and he's helped us out all tremendously.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.